Hello, and welcome to the Lightworker Diaries, a space for reflection, truth-telling, and soulful remembering. My name is Tiffany, and I am a truth teller, a mystic, and a mirror. These are transmissions from my heart to yours, an archive of channeled wisdom, lived stories, and the real work of becoming. May something in here stir something in you. Honesty is scary, and vulnerability hangovers are real. I was very brave in sharing something that I hesitated to hit post. And you may have heard it. It was the podcast episode that I released over the weekend. I shared an experience and wanted to really focus on the energetics and the experimentation aspect. But there was a few little details that snuck out that were very egoic and very opinionated. And there was a part of me that was afraid, one, that you were going to figure out the place that I was talking about, and two, that you were going to think I was egotistical and or judgmental. And I was afraid of what that would mean for the podcast. I was afraid of what that would mean for you as a listener. And if this is your first episode, there's part of me right now that's like, should I just not mention the previous episodes so that way you don't go listen to it? Because now I'm guessing you're like extra curious and that episode's going to get even more listens. But that's why I'm here and why I'm talking about this. When I posted that episode, the next day I went back and I was like, I know what I'll do. I'll just cut out the parts that felt very egoic. And I will bleep out the details that gave you the clues to figure out the place that I was talking about. And I would say I spent probably 45 minutes editing the episode. And just to give you a sense, when I record these, I record them. My podcasting software does all of the volume, background noise stuff, the magic that it does. I click 2 buttons and build my episode and it's done. So this, for me to create an episode, usually only takes me about 5 to 10 minutes more than the length of the episode to put this out there. And this one I had gone back and spent an additional 45 minutes trying to craft it into what I thought would be a more palatable and acceptable version. And I got it all ready to go. I uploaded it. I was about to hit post and I was like, I should listen and just make sure the edits came through correctly. Not a single one of them took. It was like my technology was laughing at me. Like, no, girl, you already stated your opinion. Stand by it. And it was interesting because in that moment, I kind of slowed down. I put a hand on my heart. I took a deep breath and I asked myself, what's the worst that could happen if my opinion created friction for somebody? And I realized a couple things. They could not come back, which would probably be okay. They could share it, talk about it with other people, which is a form of free marketing. Or they could think, cool, no big deal. Tiff just shared an opinion and she's back. Which in that case, yay, I'm so glad we're still here. So I didn't end up releasing a different episode, partly because my technology guides didn't allow me to, but also because I realized that it's okay if I post something that makes other people uncomfortable. It's okay if I post things that make me uncomfortable, because that is the whole journey of self-expression. That is what I've been talking about for the longest time. Even writing, this has all been a journey of self-expression for me. And as someone who has done her best to not ruffle feathers, it's kind of the point now. Not to do it in an aggressive or harmful way, but to state what feels true for me and know that that might change and that that's okay. Because that self-expression is the freedom that I have been searching for my entire life. Over the weekend, I had another opportunity to share my truth And this one was much closer to home. This was something that I'm literally not gonna go into the details because I don't wanna have the same thing that happened with the coffee shop episode. But this was one that I actually took to AI. I have a AI that is trained in my coach's methodology, so when she's not available, I basically get the next best version of her. And so I was working through the resistance I was having to this thing that I had to do. And the AI said something to me that I was like, this could be an episode all in of itself, because this I know is what so many of us do. Basically, it told me I wasn't afraid to hit send. I was afraid of the emotional fallout that would happen afterwards. And that was exactly the truth. In fact, I had been procrastinating on doing this thing because I was so afraid of what would happen after it was done. And I share this with you because I think a lot of us manage the emotions that don't even exist. I'm curious if that lands for you because it blew me away. We manage the emotions that don't even exist. We know people so well. We know how the world works in such a way that we can feel what is about to happen before it even happens. And because of that, we change the way that we show up. We adjust ourselves to be palatable, to be acceptable, to be managers of these experiences that were never ours to own. They were never ours to own. Just because we can doesn't mean that we have to. And I know how hard that is. Trust me. Like I said, I spent a weekend working with an AI coach on this because it hit multiple times in a row. Like, I don't know, Mercury retrograde, Mercury Cazimi, Mercury, who knows, what knows. My spirit guide said, this is the lesson we're learning, and we're going to make sure we reinforce it with multiple examples to make sure you get the point. I get the point, and I'm sharing it with you because as highly sensitive, recovering people pleasers, we have a habit of adjusting to make sure that other people aren't uncomfortable, and we do that at our own expense because we know that we can manage ourselves and that that's less uncomfortable than allowing someone else to feel uncomfortable at what we consider to be our expense. But I want to remind you, that's not ours. Every person's reaction, response, experience of us is nothing but their human experience seen through their lens and their historical perspective. It is just a reflection of them. And I get it. It's hard to have conversations with people that you love that are uncomfortable because all you want them to do is be happy. But molding yourself into a version of someone you are not in order for that to be possible is causing more harm than good. And I know the last thing that we want to hear, and if this is the first time you're hearing it, better hold on to your seats. The last thing that we want to hear is that what we're doing is actually a form of manipulation. But that's what we're doing. We're changing how they perceive us, which is manipulating how they experience us by changing who we are. It's a hard pill to swallow. And we think it's going to be worse when we're ourselves because that wasn't accepted whenever we decided to flip that switch off. But we didn't come here to be a shell of a human. We came here to be the fullest expression of the personality that we chose. The clothing that we wear, the style that we do your hair, the colors, the fragrances, the foods. That's who you chose to be. And sometimes that changes and sometimes that doesn't. I don't look at my partner and think, oh, you're half a human because you don't like seafood. He just doesn't like seafood. Not a big deal. More for me. Just because someone likes something or doesn't like something, that's just who they are. And yeah, there are things that people like and dislike that we agree or disagree with, and that becomes a point of contention. But the longer that we hold on to that point of contention is like holding on to a hot frying pan. You're going to get burned. They won't. So the next time that you're sitting there spinning around in a little mental circle of all the different things that could possibly go wrong if you spoke your truth or you made that decision or you took that action, and you go through this huge laundry list of all the things that you're going to have to manage as the fallout of this thing that's so true to you, and you decide it's just not worth it because of all of the things that you'll have to take care of on the other side, I want you to remember this conversation. I want you to remember this moment right here, right now. And I want you to put a hand on your heart and remember that you came here to live a fullest expressed life, doing what you love, being true to yourself, living in a state of bliss-filled joy. You chose that for yourself. And you have taken on more challenges than you probably ever wanted to, but you are only a few uncomfortable conversations away from the best life imaginable. And the only reason those things are hard is because you've allowed them to accumulate. You've put so much distance between you and that thing that it has become this behemoth, this monster that you're like, it's going to be so terrible, I just can't. And if you've ever prolonged a task at work for more than a week, only to find that it took 5 minutes to complete, that's what this is. That's what we're talking about. Your mind has made it so much bigger than it needed to be. And sometimes all it takes is 5 seconds of bravery. 5 seconds. Because you know what? Once you do those 5 seconds, the limitless possibilities that your brain has tapped into and has created to be this behemoth of a monster of fear in front of you, that all goes away. The next step becomes obvious. The one thing, not the millions of things that could possibly go wrong, just the one actual thing is all you have to face. We freak out in the fear of uncertainty because we know that there are limitless possibilities, and our mind goes into survival mode and says, how do I manage all of these at once? I don't know, so we just won't do anything because I don't know how to handle all of them. You are a brave, capable human, capable of so much more than you could even possibly imagine. Don't let your limitlessness become the delay tactic that keeps you from living your most magnificent life. Let yourself have opinions and let them be uncomfortable for other people. Let them be uncomfortable for yourself. Express yourself. Say the things that you haven't been saying. Say the things that you've been holding back. Make a decision. Most of the decisions in our lives are changeable. We think just because we say one thing, that's the end-all be-all, and we know that's not the truth. So take the pressure off. Take a breath. Surround yourself with people who can hold you and take care of you and support you when you have those moments where you're being really mean to yourself. When you're so caught up in the limitless possibilities that you've become immovable. I really do believe that you're here to live as the fullest expression of yourself, and I think you know that to be true as well. I think there's something in your life right now that you have been postponing because you're afraid of what you'll have to manage once you say it out loud. Make that decision. And I also know that you can't stop thinking about it because you know that you want that more than anything in the world. I'm going to end with an invitation. If that last little bit landed for you, if you know you have something that you are meant to be doing, but you're too afraid to actually do it, I want you to book a session with me. I only have 5 sessions left through the end of this month, but I want to clear what's holding you back so that you can move forward with the heart knowing that what you're doing is the best thing for you. And I'm going to even give you a tool for the emotional fallout and every future emotional fallout you will ever experience that will regulate you, drop any trapped emotion, clear the mental chatter, and get you back into the state of your possibility, not the version that gets so twisted around, but the version of you who's clear, the version of you who knows, the version of you who's brave enough to take the action, to make the move, to make the call, to do the thing. Let's get you moving in that direction that you can't stop thinking about. There's a link to schedule in my show notes. If you have questions, you know where to reach me. We'll see you again soon. Thank you for listening to the Lightworker Diaries. If something stirred in you today, take a breath and let it land. To go deeper, you can subscribe to the written diaries on Substack. You'll find a link in the show notes. Until next time, be true to you.